Hey there, YouTube. I'm going to do a review today on my 2009 Harley-Davidson Night Train. Um, I've had this bike longer than any other bike I've ever had. I think I bought this bike in 2011 or 2012. This is the bike that named Shady Bill's Garage Shady Bill's Garage. As everyone just said, this bike just looks shady and it's denim black. It looks like you're up to no good. I love this bike. This is a Softail, and it's basically a Night Train is a Softail that has been blacked out. It has the blacked engine with the aluminum fins, the black oil tank, and it just lacks some of the chrome. Now this bike's been a little extra blacked out. These were originally the standard Harley silver. They were powder coated black. The wheels have been changed. Normally it comes with a spoke front wheel and an almost solid rear wheel. This is a 2009. And the ones you want of these Night Trains, they came out in 1988. And they basically look the same. All Harleys kind of look the same. And they ran, according to the internet, through 2010. Although I have never seen a Night Train after 2009 for sale. So I don't know how many were made after 2009, but there weren't many. In 2006, it got the 200 millimeter rear tire. But 2007 is the ones you want. 2007, 8, and 9, because that had the 96-inch cubic inch engine along with the 6-speed transmission, and that happened in 07 with the 200 rear tire. Now, I actually run a 190 rear. I found the 200 to be a little bit of a pain in the ass, to find tire sizes for it. And the other thing is to get it past when you're setting up the whole wheel and tire and you're sticking it in there across the rear brake caliper. The 200, I'd actually have to take all the air out of the tire to put it in and then reinflate it. I found it easier just to run the 190. It's a lot easier to find 190 rubber. And so you really can't tell. 10 millimeters does not make any real difference in the stance of the bike. Some people say the 190 might turn in easier. I can't tell. The bike has a lot of leverage with the wide handlebars. This is just a great bike. So what is a Night Train or a Softail? So as you see here in the back, you do not see any exposed shocks like you have on a dyno. You have a single shock that is mounted underneath the bike. I don't know if you can see it there, but it's underneath the bike. And that does the shock. Some people say they're not as comfortable. I personally think it's fine. Rides fine. I have my touring bike, and the touring bike, is a different animal. But I have no problem with the ride on this bike. It has a wide glide front end on it that has been changed a little bit. Obviously, different bars. These are Roland Sands risers with, I believe they're also Roland Sands bars that look uncomfortable. And at first, when I bought this bike, I really didn't like how far down these handlebars come. They look tall because they go up and then they go down. And here, where I'm in, as long as your arms are not above your shoulders, it's legal. Well, they come up to my shoulder height, they drop down. I got used to that bend relatively quickly. Has your standard speedometer in the middle, no tack. Fuel gauge here in the fuel cap, which will come up as I'm sitting here. It has the Harley proximity key, which is very nice to have. You don't have to put a key in it or anything. As long as it's in your pocket, the bike will turn on. Speedometer has time. Total mileage, this bike only has 26,000 miles on it, which some people say is a lot, but I have 84,000 now on my Street Glide. So this seems pretty new. This bike has never had a problem. This bike has never had any mechanical issues. Mileage trip odometer, second odometer, and range till you run out of gas. So basically it has 115 miles to do the second half of gas on this. What is the difference also with a Softail compared to other Harleys? Softails are the only Harley that have a counterbalanced engine. So if you've ever sit at a traffic light, or if I'm sitting on my Street Glide, you see that your hand is shaking like this, as the engine, which is not counterbalanced, is just shaking, and it's rubber mounted. And you see all these mounts up here. It's a rubber mounted engine. This bike is hard mounted. Okay, the engine is hard mounted, no rubber mounts to the frame. So because of that, if it wasn't, they counterbalance the engine. Now they say you eat a horsepower or two. Whatever. These are not horsepower monsters. These are torque bikes. So it's a counterbalance engine. And the beautiful thing about that is, and I'll start this bike, and I'll tell you why I really prefer, even though I have 80,000 miles on this bike, I really prefer, I think it's called the B motor or the counterbalance motor. I'll start it up. Here I'm at idle. My hand is dead smooth. All right, I don't have that shake as I sit in a traffic light. You just sit here, I can put my hand on the engine, the air cleaner's not shaking, the bike's not shaking. It's just much smoother when you're at idle. Now, that said, when you start moving, the power pulses, you feel the power pulses more in this bike. As you rev it, you do feel some vibration. You do feel, some people call like a vibration through the bike or a tingling through the bike that you really don't get on the rubber mount engines. This thing, after you get to 2,000 RPM, it smooths out. If you're riding on the highway, this thing is buttery smooth, which is crazy with how much it loops around when it's at idle. This bike, you feel the vibration. But that said, it feels badass. Like, you want to accelerate. Like, this bike, I'll accelerate. You don't have that desire to keep going because you got to your speed. You don't feel like the power pulses in you. For some reason, on the Softail, as you crank on that throttle and you feel those vibrations, which are not annoying in any way, shape, or form, going through you, it really feels like you feel the power, and it makes you just kind of want to do bad things. As bad things you can do on a Harley. So it feels like it's more powerful. And it's obviously faster than the other bike because it's probably 100 and something pounds lighter. They say this bike's like 680 pounds compared to like 780 pounds. So it feels faster because of that. But it just feels, when you get off this bike in the denim black, and everyone says it when they get off this bike, if I let them ride it, they go, I get off this bike, and if I feel I want to punch someone in the face. This bike this is the most badass Harley. I don't know why they ever stopped making it. They put out the rocker at the time. I guess it was going for the really weird wide back tire, which has kind of now fallen out of favor. This bike has just a classic Harley look. Everywhere I go, I get comments on it. Like I said, it's had a few aftermarket things. It has an LED tail light. It has a sissy bar. Oh, let me tell you about the sissy bar, how great this bike was with the sissy bar. I would take my kids to school when they were little. They'd hop off the bike, they'd take their helmet, pop it on, and I would be able to drive away. Don't have to pack anything up, don't have to strap it, and they would just put their helmet on there, and then all the soccer moms at school would look at me with disdain for taking my kids to school on a motorcycle. But you know what? When your kid's in 4th grade and you show up on a motorcycle, guess who's popular? Your kid who just showed up to school on a motorcycle. So the wheels are aftermarket, but they are Harley wheels, just aftermarket Harley wheels, or non-stock Harley wheels. Getting rid of the spoke wheel in the front is great because now you can plug a tire if something bad happens. Obviously the handlebars, exhaust, everyone does the exhaust. And in the denim black, this bike is just, I don't know, it just turns heads everywhere. I get lots of comments. Everyone loves it. That said, I drive it 25% of how often I drive my Street Glide, because the Street Glide is just a darn nice place to be. But I don't know. The Night Train is, I think, the best looking Harley ever made. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. If there's anything you want to see about any of these bikes, let me know. But I'm shooting for 500 subscribers. I'm at, I think, a little over 375 now. So do me a favor, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.